I'm a fairly new comic enjoyer. I've only been buying and reading for a few years, but on everything I love, the comic version of The Boys is probably the worst thing to ever exist. This series does nothing but the most atrocious things possible, not to move the needle of any kind of story, but just for the sake of shock value. It's literally like if the kid in 7th grade who would show you cartel videos at 8 AM sharp made a comic book. It's so bad. I can't find one redeemable aspect of The Boys comic except for the fact that it inspired The Boys TV show. This show is pretty sick. Yes, it has a lot of the more out there stuff anyway, which personally I'm not a huge fan of, but dude, there's an actual story now. I care about specific characters. It really is a night and day difference from the comics. One character from the show that I really like is Butcher. Butcher arguably is probably one of the most well-written characters in the show, but that's not even why I like him so much. Yeah, there's all his isms, but that's mostly on the fact that he's British.
You two twats like it right now?
And we'll forget you as ever real.
Dude, I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
And I really do like his relationship with the rest of the boys and how he's like a certifiable piece of shit, and yet this is the homies. I love the way they wrote Butcher's and Huey's relationship to mimic the relationship that Butcher had with his younger brother. But the one thing I like about Butcher, more so than anything else, is that the boys have finally done a revenge story where they don't change their mind at the end. Don't get me wrong, I love revenge stories, but a lot of them pretty much say the same shit. Like in The Last of Us 2, right? Ellie goes on this long ass journey trying to kill Abby. Ellie actually manages to kill damn near the whole Power Rangers team that Abby was rolling with. And sure, Abby clipped a few of Ellie's friends, but the scoreboard doesn't lie. And we finally get to the end. Ellie is right there. She's probably seconds away, and with only a little bit more force, she'll have gotten her revenge on Abby. And then nothing. She just lets go. I understand how narratively this made sense. I even thought it was very good. That doesn't change the fact that I still wanted Abby to become a ghost story. You put in all that work and all that effort, and ultimately it was all for nothing because you weren't really about it. Maybe you didn't really like Joel that much, I don't know. Honestly though, from a narrative perspective, it was still an amazing story. I'm just selfish. And we kind of see this repeating story beat in games and media about not seeking revenge to find inner peace or whatever. I like the premise, I like the lessons and themes, but I would like just one guy to be like,
I throw my life away, you throw your life away right now.
And that's where Butcher comes in. Butcher routinely hoes everybody who knows and cares about him, even slightly, not even for a guarantee, but just for a chance at sliming Homelander. And the show does such a good job of being like, dude, this guy's such a dickhead, why is he doing this? And then you remember what Homelander did to his wife, and you're just like, nah, I get it. Like seriously, Homelander assaults her wife, and she disappears. For all you know, she's probably dead. Wait, actually she's alive, and has a kid, his kid. And then, when you start letting yourself believe maybe shit can actually get fixed, she dies. Now listen, I'm not a very emotionally intelligent guy, but personally, I would have been a bit peeved maybe? Butcher hates Homelander so much that he stopped from getting revenge on Soldier Boy, who killed his family, just so Butcher can use Soldier Boy to kill Homelander. Butcher hates Homelander so much that he started juicing just so he can fight him himself. And yes, this did lead to getting super cancer and also hallucinating Negan, but hey, anything for the game. The Boys does such a good job of letting Butcher just go to 100 and letting us see how sometimes we start questioning if Butcher is even a good guy, because it seems like he has a fair bit in common with Homelander. They get similar superpowers, they're both pretty obsessive and violent individuals who are the leaders of their own teams. The show really does a good job of letting us see how Butcher's path of revenge is turning him more and more into the person he's trying to kill. And if I'm being honest, I think that's what I want more out of revenge stories. I want a story where I see a guy realize he's going down a dark path and just go, I don't fucking care, I brought a flashlight. If we go back to the previous example of Last of Us 2, Ellie is hunting down Abby the entire game, and she's kind of deteriorating the entire time, but if I'm being honest, I never really felt like Ellie was gonna go through with it. A lot of these story beats just felt like it was setting up the eventual, hey man, actually, I have no enemies. Now, like I said, I do like stories like that, but I also like stories that let themselves go out of the mold. Like the way The Boys is going and the way Butcher has been moving from his introduction to his latest appearance, there is no way on earth this guy finds some kind of enlightenment and embraces peace. No, he's gonna put Homelander inside a cigar. And if somehow, some way, Butcher ends up sparing Homelander or just not going through with it somehow, I think that would be an insane disservice to his character, and honestly the whole show. The whole show has literally been set up with the knowledge that sometime soon, Butcher and Homelander are gonna run a fade, and someone is not leaving that.
In the end, Only one of us left standing. Isn't that what you want?
You and your little beaver.
So if this somehow ends up not being the case, what is any of this even for? We end up with the same problem that The Last of Us 2 ending had, which is all this work and all this death, your own people got clipped, and then you just let go. What? That's honestly why I prefer revenge stories like the ones told in Vinland Saga and Ghost of Yotei. Like in Ghost of Yotei, Atsu still learned all the same lessons that Ellie did in The Last of Us 2 ending, but she still cooked Saito at the end of the game. And Vinland Saga even took it a step further by actually killing Askeladd, but having it not be Thorfinn who killed him. So the object of his revenge was killed, but because it wasn't him and he really had no life, no paper, and got no play, he kind of just lost his will to live, which is where we find him in season 2 before he reaches his kind of enlightenment. That's what I want to see more of in revenge stories. I want to see more originality. I don't mind exploring the themes that these stories have always explored, but honestly, at this point, I think we're due to see somebody just crash the fuck out, bro. I want to see somebody really just not get redemption for the sake of getting revenge. I want to see the full spectrum of, dude, you're 100% valid and correct in trying to kill this dude, but respectfully, stay away from me. And that's what Butcher can and I think will bring to the table as The Boys gets ready to air its final season. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video on mobile, stay away from British people. Okay, bye.
I got out of jail, paid it down for these shoes. Nigga, I'm a soldier, I can stand on my team. It's locked up, banging red, everybody blue. 17 old when I first made a new. I got out of jail, paid it down for these shoes. Nigga, I'm a soldier, I can stand on my team. It's locked